Hello everyone, and I'm doing a short video series. Well, I don't know if it's going to be short or not, talking about the guns in Phantom Forces. Now, if you've played the game and you're past rank 10, you'll know a lot of the weapons, a lot of people are using the same weapons. You rarely see certain weapons being used. I'm going to talk about each class, their matchup to other classes, and then just talk about a few weapons in each class. So first, we're going to primarily focus on the PDW class. These are fast-firing, weak weapons. PDWs are personal defense weapons, submachine guns, really. P90, UMP, MP5, Uzi, MAC-10, so on and so on. If it's a submachine gun, you can pretty much call it a PDW. I don't know what the official term would be for it, like what are the requirements for a PDW over an SMG or whatever. But in Phantom Forces, they're called PDW, so we'll just call all SMGs that. These are designed for close to metacore ranges, so you don't want to fight long range. This is not a sniper weapon. These are close range, fast firing weaponry. They fire typically handgun rounds, 9mm, 45 ACP. You'll see a lot of handgun level bullets with these. But the only thing is, a lot of them are either bad or don't do their job. Now let's talk about the pros of the weapons. A high fire rate, a high DPS, and they're really good at close range. Let's talk about the cons of the weapons. Small magazines compared to their fire rate. They run out of ammo very quickly. They don't do a lot of damage per bullet, and they don't do very well at long range, which is understandable. Some of them also have really high recoil, which is kind of, in my opinion, stupid. So let's talk about some of the guns. The first one, the P90. The P90 is overpowered. You cannot deny that. Its damage drop off, the damage model on it, is, the last time I checked, very good, honestly. I think it's 25 to 20, its damage model. So you'll generally be about 4 to 5, you'll pretty much 5-shot people. Which, if we look at its magazine, it has 50 rounds. I mean, it could 6-shot, and that's not a problem. In general, it doesn't matter what damage it does. It has so much ammo, such a high fire rate, and the fact that it has so little recoil and so easily controlled recoil to it makes it overpowered. I've had moments where I can kill 4, 5, and sometimes 6 people in one magazine without dying. Without even letting off the trigger, I just mowed 5 or 6 people down. They just all spawned in one place or on the same guy, and unluckily I was nearby and I just killed them all with it because it's overpowered, to be honest. Now let's talk about the UMP-45. It's broken. Like, it's not overpowered and it's not underpowered. It's just broken. It doesn't feel like it should. Like, I've had times where I can shoot someone 3, 4 times, they die. And other times, like, I've put a full clip into them and they have half health. The gun just doesn't perform consistently. It's like with all of the SMGs, I can get a consistent performance over a round. But with the UMP, it doesn't perform like it should. It just, sometimes it performs really well, and then other times it's like I'm shooting a BB gun. It's like the thing is firing cotton candy instead of bullets. And the last weapon that I really want to talk about, the AS Val. This weapon, I like to call it the assassin gun. You kill one person and you reload. It has 20 rounds to a mag. I think it's 900 rounds a minute on the gun, and its vertical recoil on the ADS is so goddamn high, you can't ADS with it. You could ADS, you can aim down the sights and get kills with it, but you don't want to. You want to have a laser. You want to hip fire it. That's where I've gotten my best performance out of it, as a hip fire weapon. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know much about the real life variant of the gun. It just doesn't feel right. It's not bad, and it's not really overpowered. It just doesn't have a good feel to it. Now let's do the first talk about the chart. This is my opinion on all the weapons. Whether this is the way the game is set up or however it works, this is just my opinion. I think PDWs should counter assault rifles. Now, before I go any further, anytime I talk about a weapon countering another weapon, I'm talking about it within its effective range. Obviously, an assault rifle is going to outclass a PDW at long range almost every time. We're talking about, for the PDWs, close range to metacore range. Metacore is that distance between close and medium. It's just this sweet spot for SMGs or PDWs. I think it should counter the assault rifles because currently the assault rifles are pretty strong. They have good damage, good fire rate. They're well-rounded in general. The PDWs generally will destroy in close range, with an exception to the shotgun, which we'll talk about the shotguns and pistols at the end of the series. I feel they should have a good matchup against assault rifles. Against marksman rifles, carbines, and machine guns, they should have okay matchups. Carbines, I don't know the exact, don't quote me on this. I could be completely wrong with it. But I feel carbines are the middle ground between PDW and assault rifle. They kind of combine the two, it feels. So they should have an okay matchup with the carbine, an okay matchup against machine guns, and an okay matchup against marksman rifles. Now, they should have a bad matchup against sniper rifles, because obviously, sniper rifles, long range, PDWs aren't designed for that. So snipers are the natural counter for that. I should, while I'm at it, add the arrow so you know which direction this is. Well, yeah, whatever. I don't know how I should set it, but they should have a bad matchup, and they kind of counter each other as well. PWs will destroy a sniper at close range, or that's how it should work. Snipers are overpowered, which I'll talk about that when I get to snipers. The PDWs should win the fight at close range. PDWs should be winning the fights at close range almost all the time, with the exception of the shotgun, but we'll talk about that. Just counting the ones on this list, PDWs should win at very close range the majority of the time. I'm not saying make them so overpowered that they'll win, but where the gun is set up where it wins the close range fights almost the majority of the time. It could just be 60-70% of the time this gun will win in a close range fight. But of course, it's set where skill is also a factor. But that's about all I want to talk about with the PDWs. The P90 is overpowered. The UMP is just plain broken. And the AS Val just does not feel right. It doesn't feel like it belongs with the other SMGs, in my opinion. As for the MP7, that's fine. I don't have a gripe with it. The MP5K should have higher recoil, in my opinion, because it doesn't have a stock on it. But that's my opinion. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, this series will be a good series to have.